Hello, my name is Bernard Visaki, and today I will be presenting on the Bramble Kai Melomys. The Bramble Kai Melomys is an extinct rodent native to Bramble Kai, an island isolated at the northern tip of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. This little rodent has a round body with long whiskers and a lumpy tail. The Queensland state government made an official announcement of the extinction of the Melomys of Bramble Kai in 2016. The last spotting of this creature was in 2009 by a passing fisherman. The little rodent was found under a flipped canoe. When the fisherman flipped the canoe, several of these furry critters scattered across the island, never to be seen again. It was not until April of 1845 that the first Melomys was spotted on Bramble Kai. It was discovered by a man named Charles Bamfield Ewell, who was the commander of the British ship HMS Bramble. In 1978, researchers estimated that only several hundred of these little rodents lived on the island. Since then, the number has dropped drastically and eventually to 0 recorded sightings. First, before anything, it's smart to have a basic understanding of what it means for a species to be extinct. When talking about extinction, it usually pertains to animals or plants and is defined by the Oxford English Dictionary as having no living members or no longer in existence. According to the U.S. Endangered Species Act, the word endangered refers to a species that is in danger of extinction in the wild throughout all its population. There are many factors that can play a part in the extinction of a species. In the case of the Melomys, it's predicted by scientists that the lack of resources on the island led to the downfall of these rodents. The number of Melomys dropped to the double digits by 1998. The Bramble Kai Melomys certainly did not have it easy on their little island. The island of Bramble Kai is very small, only about 9 acres of land total. A factor that is thought to have played a part in the extinction of the Bramble Kai Melomy was climate change and the rising of the sea level. Water expands when it is heated, resulting in a change of volume. In the region where Bramble Kai is located, the ocean waters have risen about twice as much as the global average in the past 2 decades. This left only 6 acres of the Melomys Island above the high tide mark. This equates to a 40% decrease in land area since 1998. This drastic increase of the water level decreased the island's volume of vegetation by 97% between 2004 and 2014. High tide flooding and storm surges would come through and wreck the vegetation, leaving no food or shelter for the Melomys. Without food and shelter, it's practically impossible for a species to survive. Bramble Kai is the only island that these little rodents could be found, and with their home being destroyed as time passes, it became hard for them to sustain life. With no way of migrating to another island and almost no shelter, their fate was sealed. It became a free-for-all with resources, survival of the fittest. The last sighting of Bramble Kai Melomys was in 2009. Because of this, the Australian government regrettably declared them as extinct. This was a hard decision to make because it would mean that they no longer receive government protection. The Bramble Kai Melomys are the first recorded mammal to be deemed as extinct. Due to climate change, the island has been subject to repeated episodes of seawater inundation. This basically means the island was flooded many times by waves of seawater. With greenhouse gas emissions rising every year, steadily climate change became a prevalent issue. It's very reasonable to say that if we were able to control climate change, or get rid of it, the Melomys could still be alive and thriving. To respect their extinction, the Bramble Kai Melomys were given an Extinction Day, which is February 18th. This is a day of remembrance for lost and extinct species. Unfortunately, the Bramble Kai Melomys now qualify to be on that list. There was a recovery plan that was drafted in 2008 before the Melomys were declared extinct. But according to Professor Wynarski, a member of the national committee that approved the plan, it was never implemented. A short-term solution would have been a captive breeding program, but this would only be a short-term solution. If this were the case, the Melomys would not be accustomed to living in the wild. To add to this, they wouldn't have an island to live on. They would need to be relocated and adapt to an entirely new environment. The only long-term solution available would be the reducing of emissions into the atmosphere and ocean. The losing of our biodiversity is a sign that our planet is in ill health and can sooner or later come back and bite us. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and once again, my name is Bernard Visaki. I hope you enjoyed.